up in fucking weeks, and then he was openly telling people he wasn't going to show up to court. That's way different. Yeah, throw that bitch under the bus. I don't give a fuck there, but we're not here to investigate officers in that capacity.
So after talking, well, Oxby and I talked with Bill on the Thursday night. It was just coincidence that as Bill left the room, a few minutes later, Knight called me about something completely different, different. And he said to me, "Are you okay?" Because he obviously could hear I was not okay.
Right.
And I said, "No." I said, "My high command is pressing charges on me." Because that was the context that we had. About 10 minutes later, we've literally finished the phone call immediately. 10 minutes later, he walks in. He says, "Everybody into the dispatch room." He throws down a recording device and he says, "Stop." He says, "I need you to stop talking about the situation."
Wait, is this Bill or Brian?
Brian. He pulls in Bill, myself, Oxby, and Ventura as a witness and says, "Stop talking about this. This is an open investigation." And it's an open investigation because Bill went to 3 marshals to make a formal complaint about the justices.
Hello.
Now, I know that they've all been spoken to. I think I'm the only one that hasn't been interrogated yet by the marshals.
So just to clarify, because I want to make sure on the same page, this is the situation referencing likely Gates looking at command reports, right? Is that the...
Correct.
Okay, got it.
I know that Oxby was questioned last night. I know that lots of other people have been questioned. So, you know, they're looking into it, and I don't know. You'll also see that there is a senior report from Daisy Moss last night. After you went off duty, Chief, Bill Mays decided to have a chat with Daisy and give an open threat against Oxby, saying he wants to kill him.
Hold on. Wasn't Bill technically suspended at that point?
I think that's when he was fired.
Oh.
You said it happened yesterday, right, Ruby? Yesterday?
Yeah,
after
last
I fired
night.
him?
Yeah, last night
fired.
after you,
okay.
you went off duty.
What in the world is Bill doing?
He's been
Macing it up.
He's been sending Oxby images of snakes and hissing at him. Yeah.
Wait, that's
Damn,
what I do. He's
I was gonna say
stealing my
he took from Jeb's playbook.
What the hell?
But Bill's hissing at people?
Okay, listen. I'm gonna I'm not gonna lie. I really like Bill, okay? Because listen, the like mazing stuff up, yeah, it's bad. It's bad on occasion. And like, full disclosure, I am biased because I know I like Bill. I don't know how he fucking mazed that shit up so much, and how it went from, again, determining our exposure and roping in the marshals to, like, oh my gosh. Because from my understanding, Ruby, and again,
he was specifically on orders to not include outside departments. This was all internal.
And even though it never got to the point where you were being interrogated, again, it shouldn't have been an interrogation, to be clear. The reason for the recording was to ensure that Bill didn't maze shit up and misunderstand what you said. It wasn't to be like, hey, she said this, we're pressing charges. At all. It was never intended to be that way. Because if there's one thing,
the marshals to my interrogation.
That's exactly that should have never happened. That's why the recording was supposed to be there, was so that he didn't misunderstand anything. And somehow he still wanted the recording. He wanted a marshal to look over the investigation. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna say something here, and y'all may disagree. I think we shot Bill in the foot, knowing full well he had the capability of mazing shit up, and then essentially handed him a makeshift IA. Because that then, realistically, I think that puts Bill in an impossible situation where he's tasked with looking into and defending the LSPD while simultaneously looking for wrongdoing on behalf of the LSPD. Those are two things that are going to conflict with each other. And I realistically think that we should not have assigned any IA-related stuff to Bill. I'm not going to sit here and say that Bill is the stupidest person in the world. Again, I have a soft spot for Bill. He thrives in doing stuff that 99% of people don't want to do. And I think we handed him a little too much. And he should not have ever done what he did, because it should have just been a conversation like, hey, Ruby, what happened? Can you give me a timeline? Can you know, this is obviously going to come up in court given the lawsuit. Like, why was evidence in this report not in the other one? And again, there could have been a variety of different reasons.
Is someone suing us?
I'm inclined to believe. Wait, wasn't there a lawsuit? Isn't there a lawsuit regarding that whole thing?
The judge. All right, so this
It's
is another
done.
thing
It's
that's crazy.
closed.
So this is another thing.
Bill
right?
brought up delayed discovery for that situation and whether or not there's going to be a roads violation. But then it was brought up by Pred, and Pred is 100% correct. At the end of the day, it's just a roads violation. It's not going to be deemed evidence tampering or whatever. Like, we need to stop adding these additional descriptors for what is just a roads violation, even if unintentional. We don't have to sit there and assign intent to this situation where it's not it's entirely unnecessary. And again, with Bill's position, unfortunately, I think we kind of, again, I'll take responsibility. I think us giving Bill the IA thing put him in a situation where he is simultaneously building cases against while also defending, and you can't do both. It's impossible.
Nope. Especially when you brought in the parties that he did. It's obvious, right, from the stuff that we found out, that Bill did not try to defend anybody. He was adamant about, remember how when he talked to us, he was adamant that Ruby intentionally put the stuff in there and was doing something illegal, right? Remember, because that would come up with Bill all the time. He'd say, and then I'd have to tell him, Bill, shut the fuck up, because that's not what happened.
We need to not jump to that conclusion, at all.
It comes out that he's the one that told her to redact it. But then also, with the way the DOJ handled this, I'm not a fan of. We have a legitimate fucking case. All right? They then tell us, hey, fuck it, we're doing a summary judgment anyway. And I just don't understand that. And then one of the things that's findings, let me pull out my phone. One of the findings in the verdict is obstruction of lawful access to public records under the San Andreas FOIA. Liable. These records are on the document. They are on the docket. All right? It is all there. Pre-verdict. We're not deprived of anything. I don't understand Ava's ruling on this. It makes no sense. And I don't understand why this wasn't afforded to go to court at all. It makes
I agree.
No sense.
I 100% agree. I will say, when we had spoken to, I believe it was Grayson regarding the situation, and he was looking at the case, I think it was perceived that, number one, because Ruby specifically didn't say that she was acting on behalf of the LSPD or whatever, that we essentially had no representation. And I felt that was very gray area, because obviously in this case, Ruby was only listed as a witness alongside everybody else. But inherently, if the department is being sued, we have never taken issue with anyone involved in the situation being the person to represent the PD. And then when I think it was Ava that said, let's get this scheduled, apparently the expectation was that people post new availability, and no one did. Now, I disagree with that, for a lot of people, their schedule isn't going to change. It is very cookie cutter. It's going to remain the same regardless. And if that is the case,
they should have just scheduled the
about to say
case.
that.
they should have scheduled with the previous availability, unless, now I specifically, if I know my schedule is bound to change for a specific week, I will say I'm available Monday to Saturday from this time to this time, excluding this date, like whatever, right? But everyone just posted general availability, and realistically, I think it should have been on the judge to take that into account because they didn't update it, assume it to be the same, and schedule based on that, not based on, well, it's been a little while, and they didn't post anything, so instead I'm going to give them none of the opportunity in court, as opposed to scheduling something and then maybe missing a person or two, even if that. Because again, the likelihood that those people could have made it were very high. Those are people who are available daily. So I do take issue. I do take issue with that. I don't. Oh man, this is the issue of me being understanding and fair. I don't necessarily blame judges because scheduling is always the biggest fucking conflict in existence. Like, it's the thing that delays cases for weeks, if not months, and it fucking sucks. But to not make the effort and just assume that no one was posting their availability, I think is a little silly.
So initially, another judge stepped in at the very beginning and asked for availability. We all put availability, and that judge says, I'm asking for availability, but I'm not going to be presiding. Several months later, Ava comes in. She does not ask for availability.
She just says,
she asks for pre-trial motions. No, that she asks for pre-trial motion. A couple of days after that, and I didn't get a notification. A couple of days after that, she goes, okay, it's going to default judgment, of which she did not follow the legislation in regard to default judgment. It is what it is. I supplied everything that she asked for. When I realized that she was continuously asking for the same evidence over and over, I'm like, it should be in there. It should be attached. I've given everything I'm supposed to. And I dug a little deeper only to find that there was another report, a command report that at some point must have been promoted with the evidence in it. Did I touch the evidence? No. Did I conceal it? No. Did I go to Bill and ask for advice?
Wait, so was that a normal report beforehand?
I believe Oxby and I spoke at length. We both believe we made a regular report. We put all the evidence in it and we handed it over to the people that were part of that incident. It became a command report at some time. We don't put complaints in command reports like that. We truly believe that at some point it was promoted. And so when I saw that all the evidence was attached to a command report, I asked Bill.
Yeah, we could.
I asked Bill, is that, what do I do? Because it's an internal communication. And he said, well, they've only asked for the evidence, just supply them with the evidence and redact everything else. Never done it before, so I did what he told me to do.
I mean, not exactly the worst play, but obviously, if you start towing the line, the leniency provided by said judge is going to wear thin, right? I mean, it's no different than us dealing with people. If they want to sit there and be little shits, damn well we're going to respond accordingly, or at least I'm going to, right? Like, I'm an energy matcher. You start playing those games with me, Uno reverse.
So I messaged Ava and I said, I've never done this before. How do I do it? How do I do a sealed? She told me how to do it. And there was no issue. Zero issue with Ava. None at all. So it's other people are talking, saying that it's an issue when the judge that presided over it gave no issue.
Yeah, not wrong. Let's see. The court finds these actions constitute a violation of the rules rule, which serves blah, blah, blah. Specifically, investigators are required to disclose to commanding officers, the prosecution, and the defense any evidence that's relevant to the case and material to the establishment of guilt, innocence, or procedural fairness. Well, hold on. How does that even apply here? Because weren't the casings from officers?
Yes.
So how is that going to be exculpatory evidence in this case?
I don't know. I'm just so tired of it.
That establishes guilt, innocence, or procedural fairness. I don't know how it was only officers' casings that were
Yes.
collected.
And yeah, when Oxby and I went, yes.
Very interesting. Evidence is considered material under these rules if its disclosure would reasonably influence decisions by commanding officers, prosecutors, or the court. And the rule reinforces the principles of transparency and accountability, requiring full disclosure to protect the integrity of the justice systems. To me, that's pretty conflicting, because it's not like we took casings away from a scene in which a suspect shot so that we can attempt to claim that something did or didn't happen. Like, their complaint was against, or was on the limited knowledge I have was on the basis of them being shot when they shouldn't have shot, or shouldn't have been shot, or something to that extent. Those, I don't understand. Was the lawsuit on the basis of having been shot?
I believe so. They said
Well,
that
then
they were...
that would be valid, I guess. We should get IT to look into the report being done. And here's the reality.
Can you imagine if Bill's the one that moved it to a fucking command report?
No,
Like it was a normal
no.
report? Can you imagine? That'd be fucking great.
No, I don't
Oh
believe
my
so.
god.
Okay.
The thing is,
What's the
whether
report
it was
number?
moved 29 something or other. The fact is, as soon as we realized that the evidence that Oxby and I collected was not part of the main, we submitted everything. We did everything, and Ava didn't have a problem with that. The fact is, everybody else seems to have a problem with it,
That's not surprising.
including the fact that, no offense, but for 3 days, Assistant Chief, you know, Oxby and I are of the belief that you gave him an order to do this.
No. The order was not for a fucking interrogation. It was literally to the fact that he worded it an interrogation or investigation or whatever the fuck he said is he really fucking mazed that up. How do I simultaneously love and hate Bill? I don't understand.
I have to ask, he took you and Oxby into an interrogation room with the marshal?
No, it never got that far.
Okay.
And thankfully it didn't, because what would have been said should have never been said in the presence of a fucking marshal to begin with.
Yeah.
Because
It's
again,
too late. It's in the scope and they're looking to it. Knight pulled me aside with Aldo, and these guys were asking me questions about what I know about this shit. Right? And of course, I didn't cooperate. I simply told Knight several times, hey, listen, this is an internal issue. All right, I'd like to be aware of what your findings are so far, you know, so we could, you know, work together on this thing to, you know, find an appropriate resolution. And of course, Knight, being the asshole that he is, wouldn't turn anything over to the LSPD. All right, and it wasn't because anyone was trying to fuck you, Ruby. I was trying to make sure they weren't trying to fuck you, because I don't know what the fuck they're going to try and do. I honestly don't believe Ruby's in the scope. I honestly don't even believe Bill's in the scope. I actually think that they're coming after me.
I agree.
In what capacity? Is in for your position, or?
I'm unsure. I'm unsure. It's TBD, but we shall see what happens.
Yeah. I believe that they are now questioning people based on questions like this. Who promoted Bill to that position? Who gave him that position? What was his, you know, purview? What were his permissions? Who did this? So I think it's all, they're trying to point it all back at Chief.
I don't understand for what reason. Also, just a heads up, that report was, let me just double check. Sorry, continue on. I just want to make sure I get the appropriate info here.
Yeah, it won't be a big deal. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do because nothing that I did was illegal by any means. I don't really think that there was any illegality that took place. All right, so I don't know exactly 100% what they're looking into or what they'll try and paint it into the picture of. So I guess we'll just figure it out when the time comes.
Yeah, but Mike, well, actually, considering the judgment's already been made, it's entirely irrelevant now. I was going to say my concern stems from the fact that they were going to try to sue, but they already got a roads violation on the thing, which, to be fair, I made this very clear when I spoke to Bill, when I spoke to Pred. Like, regardless of the intent, it would be a roads violation in that scenario. Like, we fucked up. We put our hands up. We admit that we fucked up. It is what it is. We need to ensure that obviously it doesn't happen again. So if someone did erroneously throw it up to a command report, we obviously need to ensure that people know not to do that, because it'll obviously subject us to outcomes like this, which is problematic. But
I mean,
let's see.
I'll even say it. If it was me, it was a genuine mistake. I mean, I don't go out of my way to, hide or cover anything up. And, as soon as we realized it was missing, we submitted it immediately.
I have a question.
So I do have so it was originally created as a report, and it was then changed to a command report about 30 minutes later. And I believe it was you, Ruby.
Okay.
However, I will say what happened was it changed from complaint to complaint from Manx and Torres, and that's when the category was changed to a command report.
Okay.
However, determining the contents of the report is a bit iffy during that time. So this could have been a scenario where, you didn't have any of the evidence or anything. Then when you realize that there may be something more to the situation at hand, and you went to go and collect the evidence and realize that there may have been a little more sort of weight to the situation, now that there's evidence that they're indicating would be somewhere, you go and collect it with Oxby, and then start, looking at this from an internal aspect, 100% making it a command report would be valid. But the question becomes, like, were you aware of the overarching situation for the scenario that it revolved around? You know what I mean? Like, did you even have that context in that moment? Doesn't matter if you have it now.
Yeah.
But in that moment, like, if you did, then yeah, that probably would be a little problematic, and we would definitely need to work on making sure that we don't separate evidence in scenarios like that. But this isn't a situation where this was evidence in like a larger situation. It was pulled from that and hidden, because then that would be far more egregious than a command report was made for this specifically, and then evidence regarding the larger issue was put in afterwards in a separate report. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, at the time, Oxby and I had just got on duty. We walk out into Upper Motor Pool, and these two fellas just run up to us, hobbling and covered in blood. We're not even sure what the hell's going on. We haven't even turned on our radios. So, we just took the complaint, and I suppose we just assumed we'll let whoever, the scene, just take care of it. And that's what we did.
Which actually, when I was looking at this, was there an incident where people got arrested? For the...
Yeah.
Okay.
12.
Can you get me that incident, or the incident number? Because I swear when Bill was pointing this out to me and I looked at the incident, am I wrong in saying the incident was made after the command report?
Yes.
Okay. But yes is in that's what happened?
Yeah. So
Okay.
as I said,
So-
we got on duty. We didn't know what the hell was going. Sometimes we get on duty and
Yeah,
things
you don't
are
have the full
happening on
context.
different channels.
Mm-hmm.
These people came up to us, said that they were injured. We said, "Where were you injured? What's going on?" And they said, they said we were driving through this area and we got shot, and we're just thinking, okay, maybe it was a local, maybe something like that. Um, and then we drove over and had a look in the area that they said, and yeah, there were some casings and stuff. I'm pretty sure we threw it in. And then when we got back to MRPD, of course, come back 12 suspects, downed officers. We had no idea what was going on. It was a big shootout that Sheriff Frost was leading at New Epsilon. And I mean, it's quite obvious that their car was called out. They were in the area. They were obviously shot at, and officers shot at them.
Yeah, see, even the existence of that incident report existing after the creation of what ended up being a command report, like, it proves that there's a disconnect here, right? Like, in my opinion, that immediately sort of absolves you of like any sort of malicious intent, right? Because how do you make a report with evidence regarding this specific complaint that you intentionally tried to address, and then the overarching like scenario that it actually stemmed from had an incident created afterwards? Like, it wasn't you removing evidence. That is clear as day on the basis that the report existed before the incident. So there really shouldn't have been, I'm gonna be honest, that alone should have been like, okay, like Bill, why? I'm
What an animal.
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Fired. He's fired. He ain't. I mean, he's fired.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't be trusted. He disobeyed direct orders. All right, and now all of a sudden, I mean, there isn't one case where Bill was able to mitigate any goddamn shit. Not one.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if we don't have Bill, then all of these other fucking situations are just gonna like land on our lap. We're not gonna know our exposure until we put our fucking lawyer caps on in every fucking one to try to figure it out ourselves.
I mean, here's what we're going to have to start doing, I think. There's two options. One, replace Bill with Razzle. I don't think we'd have the same issues with Razzle that we do Bill. Two, we make people be more held to a higher standard and more accountable for their court cases. All right? Where, if
that
something
needs
gets
to
brought
happen,
up
but
to
that
court-
was going to be done with Bill. Bill was going to, well, not just Bill, but
Exactly.
the people that Bill was trying to get collectively together. Because I mean, Ruby, I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible. I hate that you have to essentially be on every fucking case that exists anywhere around the time when you're around, because it seems to either fall on your lap, Opal's lap, Oxby, who else? Maxwell.
Gravy.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a handful of people, and these are people who are out on the streets daily. Like, Pred, I'm going to be in the minority here. I know it. I think there's value in Bill, but we need to limit, like, what he can do if we were to ever take him back on. And I do think it needs to only be in the capacity of, like, gone are the days of him looking for wrongdoing or any IA-related stuff. It needs to strictly
You can't
be...
bring him back on.
I
You
think
didn't
that
hear
would be
the other thing.
a terrible
You didn't hear the
political
other
move if
thing he did.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't
There's
hear the other
more?
thing he did.
Wait, he did...
Yeah, there's
Yes.
more.
Oh, gosh.
Angel said that
Not the
Bill
but wait, there's
directly.
more.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, God.
Bill
classic
apparently
Bill.
pulled Angel aside and told Angel directly that this is a cover-up. So he told another outside agency, but he didn't skirt around it. He told her directly that it is a fucking cover-up that's going on. We can't trust Bill in any capacity. That's why he needs to be replaced. And I need to talk to the DOJ because we need to get a fucking clerk's office that notifies people via phone calls or serving process people that can give people court notice. Because I don't get I feel like I do not get. I'm not privy to a bunch of notifications that I'm supposed to be, and think it would be a lot more helpful if there was an office saying, "Hey, this is a case you got to watch." Blah blah blah. You're responsible for this. You've been served.
Yeah, I agree.
This whole case, this whole situation was run by Sheriff Frost, and he didn't answer once on the docket, and he was tagged. I believe I even told him about it back in August. People just don't want to go to court. They don't want to do it.
Because it takes so long to fucking go to court.
Does
That's why
anyone
they should just
know?
be.
Wait, who are
they should
the
just
two
tag 'em.
officers that shot? It was Kukulski. Wasn't there someone else, or was it just Kukulski?
It was 2 officers, but they both, well, Kukulski's suspended and the other one doesn't work for us anymore.
Wait, who was it?
Dylan Dublin.
Oh wait,
Who the
Dublin was a
fuck's
good
Dylan
one. What
Dublin?
happened to him?
They were probably told, like you would on a scene, if a black sports car had been called out multiple times and you see a black sports car again, they were shooting from the vehicles. Of course, they're going to be open fired on.
Yeah,
That is what
100%.
happened.
But that's gonna fall very clearly under immunity. Not like the thing is, we're never gonna. We didn't have the opportunity to argue any of this in court because they went to summary
Correct.
judgment. Are we filing an appeal on this?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, we're gonna have to.
Can we if the money's already gone out?
Well, I mean, they'd be forced to pay it back in the event where it was deemed like not appropriate.
Yeah. But...
Has the money already gone out?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't pay anything.
Wait, am I looking at the wrong post, Ruby? It says you paid out. Or is that
Yes,
different?
I had to. We had 72 hours court ordered.
Oh yeah, 100%.
fuck.
Listen, it's one of those things where just like we tell people out on the streets, if I give you a lawful order, you have to follow it. If you don't, you're under arrest. It doesn't matter. Like that is not the time and place to argue it. You follow through with it, and your recourse is in court afterwards. So we follow through with that. We pay it. We appeal it. And that's the most that we can do. But yeah, no, I 100% agree that shit should have not gone to summary judgment at all. Additionally, if a judge is specifically wanting availability, they need to make that very clear. But also, that's very much so a two-way street. Whoever we have representing us in these cases will also need to make it clear, like, hey, I am going to be representing LSPD in this case, right? Like, that's pretty important. Also, if the LSPD and the BCSO are both listed as defendants, who's paying what? Was that even clarified?
It was clarified that because of the officers were LSPD, that LSPD should pay.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Even if the call was made from Frost?
Well, we don't.
We don't
know
have that
who-
opportunity
we
to
don't
even argue
know
it.
Who made the call? Because this happened the 3rd of August. It's November.
Holy fuck.
The end
Yeah.
of
Fucking hell.
November.
I can't remember that far back. I can't remember last week.
Okay. Well, that's a multi-level issue because that's a combination of the delays with DOJ, but there being so many cases with very few judges, right? Like, listen, outside of a very stupid ruling like the McMoo self-defense against PD, I think we need to give the DOJ, and y'all are going to hate me when I say this, the benefit of the doubt, because if we do nothing but kick them at the tiniest thing that they may do wrong, they're going to be discouraged. And Pred, I know you're not going to give a fuck, but they're going to be discouraged from like taking on more cases. They're just going to try to shrug it off, delay, because they don't want to deal with, you know, the inevitable. Doesn't matter what the ruling is, someone's going to hate them at the end of the day.
Then our justice system is broken. That's the case.
I mean, yes, but that's unfortunately what happens when there's so few judges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than when we're on duty and there's only a handful of us. We can't respond to every fucking call, except most times those situations kind of just resolve themselves over time, right?
I mean, this is
in
why
the
what they-
situation with the DOJ, that's not the case. It will sit there forever. I mean, I'm looking
this is
at a
why what they
case.
should just do. They literally. My bad for interrupting.
No,
but
you're
they
good.
Literally, the system's already in place. It's like you can't have more than a certain number of witnesses. All right. Essentially, what they just got to do is just schedule the fucking cases. And if we're going to court, it's just like, hey, let's say LSPD's being sued. I did something, or we'll say you did something, Rhodes. I'm the one who's working the case. I get statements directly from the ones involved. I ask them pointed questions about the shit, right? And then I file it on there. And then instead of doing a what's it called, where you bring someone in front of a judge that they can
Like
be
a
asked questions
deposition?
and stuff like that. Yeah, deposition. We just skip the deposition thing. We have the evidence there, right? The statements there on recording, and then bam, we just kind of operate, that way. I mean, I'm biased because it has taken, on average, I have had 4 major court cases, and the average length for me to get a verdict on these cases has been between 4 and 6 months. You do not, if you haven't experienced it, I know I'm not saying you haven't, right? But if you haven't experienced it, it is such a fucking travesty to you and everybody involved. Like, it is fucked up. Like, it really is. Something needs to change on the DOJ end, and I don't see how we haven't gotten to the point. We've already proven that massive cases, can happen quickly with Babylon, right? The Babylon 11. I mean, we knocked that shit out in a week. We had everything organized in a week. Yeah, granted, they didn't really want to be there, but I'm not giving murderers fucking plea deals, especially when they get an expedited court case where normally those motherfuckers are lucky they didn't have to wait a month. They're lucky they didn't have to wait 2 fucking months. All right? Because I've been in the trenches waiting 4 fucking months for cases myself. And that shit fucking destroys you. I mean, we gotta sit down with the DOJ, and we gotta get the ball rolling. All right, they have enough personnel. All right, they have enough money to hire people to be process servers. We have everything that we need. The issue is motivation or lack of effort. And look, I'm willing to put forth the effort if you guys are, but I really think that the docket just needs to be cleaned the fuck out.
I agree.
That's my opinion. I believe that every active court case on the docket, if it's outside of a couple weeks outside of this point, they just need to fucking say, hey, listen, better luck next time. All right? But we got to start from scratch. It's going to affect us. It's going to affect the civilians, right? Everyone's going to be impacted negatively by it, not be happy by it. But there needs to be some type of a fresh kind of like start so that we can actually kind of be like, hey, we don't have this flooded docket with 20 fucking claims that are scattered throughout 6 months of fucking work across 2 different fucking administrations, right? Like, we need a bone.
Right, there's cases on the docket from early February that reference mid-January.
Correct.
Yes.
Did you know what happened to? And poor old Opal came on duty on Saturday to do her Silas Morano case, and Grayson recused himself. So the whole thing's rescheduled.
Yeah.
I have what's probably going to be an unpopular opinion. Statute of limitations, maybe 30 days, okay, for civil cases, but I think civil cases specifically need to be, now let me finish before I get interrupted here, okay? They need to be filed within 14 days and concluded by the 30th day. Otherwise, it just gets dropped, because I'm sorry, but it is very okay. The Torres and Minks case, they filed it hours before the 30-day mark, by the way. Like, that was very clearly intentionally done. I'm like hours, maybe 2 hours before the official, the official mark.
Play the system. That's why.
100%. So they filed it on
motherfuckers find loopholes.
Day
and
29.
They ruin the system for everybody.
Yeah, day 29, hour 22. Like, that's essentially what happened in the Minks case. And I'm sorry, but we deal with way too fucking much to be able to in detail, like, remember every fucking thing that occurred. And that's just when they filed it, to be clear, with no indication of anything prior to. Like, I'm sorry. Could I even tell you what I had for breakfast yesterday? I don't know. Could I tell you what robbery I responded to 3 days ago? And you want me to remember something from 29 days ago with no prior indication that this was going to get looked at? Nah, I don't fuck with that. I think that's silly.
I'm looking at this case from February 2025. The last posting on it was in September with the judge tagging the plaintiff, and they didn't reply. Surely, if they don't reply after a week, if you've done it, you just close the case. Like, okay, if you can't bother to reply, close it.
Well,
Like,
it sounds like in our case they just went to summary judgment.
No, they
went
didn't.
to our
There's-
case in summary
No,
judgment.
in
when
our
we
case they went to
legitimately
summary
had a
judgment.
claim.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they did it based upon legislation that was passed a day after the case was filed.
Wait, hold on.
And then
what?
they haven't done it to any
no,
other
that's not
case.
legal. That's not legal.
That's what they did. But then the response, of course, was, well, we don't have to do it. We can do it that way anyway. Like this is what I get sick of.
They
The-
can't. Well,
the
no. They cannot apply that shit afterwards.
They did, and then it's weird because how
Okay,
is this
Fred,
one? This
Fred,
case,
you
the
don't
one-
even need to
What's
explain
up?
further. Either we are going to be hypocrites if we don't appeal it, or we appeal it and we have to bring up the fact that, number one, the legislation is being applied improperly and shouldn't even apply because in this scenario, it happened before that legislation was in place.
And then we reflect the case that's back in February that hasn't been fucking settled out yet, and that's way. Or because if it's the same standard, why is it the one that's why is it our case that's getting summary judgmented upon when we have a valid claim in an active court docket with multiple fucking parties?
When did
right?
that legislation go, the summary judgment stuff? When did that go
It
into
was
effect?
the day after the court case was filed.
Which means well over a month after it actually took place. Like the actual...
Yes.
Okay. Was it an amendment to...
Yeah, it was an amendment.
It
was
was
the
a
August
bill
6th?
amendment. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. Y'all can continue talking. I'm looking at the changes.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it is infuriating from my standpoint, and I always tend to get infuriated and court locked. All right, but I think it truly is an issue that needs to change. I do think that we need to fucking do better as well, right? 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
I think that the way the system is pointed towards us with, waiting fucking till the last hour to fucking file a court case, that should be really frowned upon, in my opinion. I feel like I can understand something taking a week or two to be filed, right? I can completely understand. And then we can just, go into damage control and try and figure shit out. All right. But it makes it so that if our if our fucking officers ain't writing down every fucking last detail on the reports, then we get fucked because of the ridiculously high standard that the DOJ has in place. There could have been, it didn't sound like there was anything wrong here. All right, a car probably drove through a scene that was a clear shootout that was going on for a while. The car was probably told to fucking leave. All right, it didn't leave. All right, it was occupied by known fucking criminals. All right, the car took a few fucking bullets. All right, and we weren't allowed to fucking take this to court. We were told that this is going to be fucking summary judgmented upon. Like the whole thing, it just doesn't make sense. Because this is something we'd go to court and we'd win 100%.
I
All
agree.
right, I guarantee it.
I think we'd probably be protected, yeah.
What I don't understand is, so the bill that was amended says if a case has been filed for 30 days and a member of the judiciary, not other people, has failed to enter as presiding, whether it is due to conflicts of interest or scheduling, then the case will go, to summary judgment. So it's not our choice. It's their failure to pick up a case
What's the
has forced
amendment
us.
called
if you
on
go
the docket?
go to due process, and it's number 21.
So it was an amendment to due process.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
So go to due process. I think it's 21.
Well, I
And
want to look
then
for
what's
like the
supposed-
city hall posting when that was put up.
that's over on the forum then. Yeah, it's a bill to amend due process.
Got it. Okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
it says the judge will enter, provide 72 hours for opposing counsel to provide final arguments, and then they will write a verdict. So you can't even fight the bloody thing.
Interesting.
What are the legalities of like what? Okay, how if we were to propose them to wipe the docket or whatever, like how would that go legally?
I don't know that there's any clean way to do it. If I'm being entirely honest, I think legally the only way that would ever occur is if the governor decided that that would be appropriate. I don't see
Okay.
any other legal means of doing so.
Yeah.
I don't. They would never go for that. I mean, it'd be great, but I don't see them ever going for that.
The difference is they have a panel of justices, I get that, to oversee things. Then they have two sets of judges, some that have been appointed, by the DOJ, and then you have another group that are elected. But there are no stipulations on those that are elected or even hired by DOJ to do a certain amount of cases or to do any work. There's nothing. If they wanted to, they could do nothing their whole term. They could do nothing their whole employment. There is nothing to say that they must take a certain amount of cases. So if they don't want to take a case for a month, they don't have to do anything. Nothing.
Well, it's also
Zilch.
the system in place has it so only certain judges and certain justices can take certain fucking cases. So that's another issue
but the issue is we would complain if magistrates went unchecked, essentially. Again, let's not forget what McMoo did. Right? Like, I do think they need to have a period of time in which they have a set of eyes so that they don't entirely fuck things up. Like Falconer, for example, was watching, and so was the other judge that was present. They were watching the McMoo case. So they had knowledge of what was going on. In saying that, though, they didn't interrupt or they were in the courtroom while McMoo was what's the term I'm looking for when they're like trying to determine whether or not they're going to be found guilty.
Deliberating.
Or not. Yeah, they were deliberating. And Falconer and the other judge were still in the courtroom. Like, they were not there with McMoo looking over their shoulder at all times, which I think is appropriate because you probably want, especially in a case that isn't like the biggest deal in the world, you probably do want to make sure that they have, the ability to problem solve on their own, right? So that you can evaluate if they can do it on their own. And again, once Maple filed the judicial appeal, that was taken fairly quickly. And then Grayson, it took a little while. I believe she was busy, but ultimately it ended up getting resolved. Like, that was our legal recourse. We took it. But again, it was all to solve something that a magistrate did erroneously that shouldn't have happened. So we need to just keep following up with whatever we can legally do. Were the 72 hours... Wait, hold on. Where is it actually ruled that it was okay for them to do this? If that makes sense? Or was it not ruled anywhere specific?
It was just a form amendment that I don't believe anybody contested.
Oh.
Yeah, if you don't contest a bill or anything like that, then it's unless it breaks constitution, it gets agreed upon.
I think the thing that really fucking bothers me about legislation is so much shit flies under the radar because we are just not informed. I think, and this is going to sound crazy, I think judges should have the ability to send an email to everybody indicating that there is currently a piece of legislation that is in its public contest period. That way we at least fucking know. Because the amount of times I have gotten on duty to be told this changed, that changed, whatever, and I had no fucking idea is wild. And don't get me wrong, I know that judges do try to reach out, but I'm going to be, unless it's in front of me, I'm not seeing it. And I don't
Yeah, it's a
have
pain
the
in the ass,
ability
man.
to look at a gazillion fucking different things every day. I will say, this is interesting. The possibility might actually exist. So I got hired under, this is random, but I got hired for the Los Santos driving school, and you can send emails from the business app that you would receive on your phone.
Oh,
I don't know if I can. King, what's your state ID?
9151.
Oh, Ruby. Ruby, you're here.
I am
One
here.
moment.
I am
Ruby's
somehow
here.
somehow part of the driving school.
One moment.
I can't wait.
I don't think. Wait, does Ruby have a tablet?
What do you?
Won't
yes,
even
I-
it won't even matter. Ruby,
Is it on my
Look at that.
tablet or on my phone?
your phone.
Oh, good lord, man!
imagine that was sent statewide every time.
This is my first email in 2 years.
Well, I think
Bro,
your
send me
emails
one
get.
real quick.
I think the emails might get cleared. I have to hire you. You have to be an employee is the issue.
Then just fire me.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We'll do that.
I want to see exactly what it is so we can.
Okay. Pred, what's your state ID? Oh, 11177.
You know what it is. 11177.
Jeb, what's your
Even
state
I
ID?
10054.
System mail.
And King? State ID?
9151.
Okay, make sure you accept that.
Oh.
Now, you don't even need to look at the app. I just need to make sure you all join. And then once that happens, look at what I can do. I was completely oblivious to this.
That's crazy.
Where are you looking at? Where?
Just
1 second.
wait.
Oh.
It's coming.
Oh, wait, hold on. Why are those failing to send? Did y'all get them?
No.
Did you get anything on your emails? Like on your phone email?
Nothing. It says
Hold
total
on.
email
One
0.
moment. Oh, wait. It's failing to send. Oh, I need to give you a rank. One moment. I know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Fuck! Wait, but oh, Ruby got... Yeah, but Ruby already had access. Ruby, what's your rank in this? Ranks?
I don't know.
Me neither. Fuck. The long story short is, you guys know how you get like the severe weather alert email?
Yeah, same.
It's
same
similar
kind of
to
system,
that,
right?
except you can make the title whatever you want and the contents whatever you want.
It's
Yeah, I got
it's
a
like a
business I
text.
could add you guys to where I can send mail. do you-
yeah,
but how-
do that. I also can't remove you guys, so one moment. I gotta call Sherry.
Gotcha. Well, this is here. There we go. Bam. 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 There you go. Did you get that, Rhodes?
Yep. Hello?
I need to take 2 seconds. I'm going for it in a minute, but listen, just a heads up. You guys are having a command meeting or something right now, and I just spoke to Jack, and he said I'm gonna go eavesdrop, or I'm gonna go listen to the command meeting, and then I saw him send it around in the lobby on the GPS. I don't know whether he's still there anymore, but just be careful.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
All right, bye bye.
All right. Bye.
You
I
accept
have
it?
a s-
I did accept
I
you.
I have a suggestion. Why don't we start by doing an internal advertisement to see if we may actually have somebody already in the PD that would be interested to at least keep on top of all the court cases. To start there, to see if someone might actually, who's very administrative minded, enjoy doing that crap.
I got that.
And at
email.
least start by notifying people and keeping us on top of stuff. There may be
that's another
someone that
thing.
wants to do it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get together is like the process servers and stuff. But I know what you're talking about. is
Sherry,
getting,
Yeah.
another bill.
can you fire the 3 people I hired? It was Pred, Jeb, and King. I was trying to send them in. Well, listen, I was trying to send them an email so that they could see the email because we're theorizing something. Except I couldn't send them an email, probably because they don't have a specific rank, and it also meant that I can't fire them.
I can give them a rank. Do you want me to give them a rank for now?
Pred had a business and he was able to do it since he's the owner of the business, so we're good.
Okay.
But Cherry, I can't fire people that I hire.
You have to give them a rank first.
I don't think I can give them a rank. How do I give them a rank?
You should be able to.
Is it under
Let me see if I can
employees?
give you- Change roles. There we go. I gave you that permission.
Oh. One moment. Oh, now I can kick them. Oh, nope, I can't kick them. Not the new. Wait, let me refresh.
That's literally a police
Business.
let's say someone's suing
Yeah,
the
you
police
have to
in
give them a
fucking
role
January,
first,
like, as
and then
example.
kick
So I
them.
can't.
It's not a
Oh, okay. I have that permission now. I can. Okay, perfect. So hypothetically, if we accidentally hire someone, we just need to assign them a role and then kick them.
It's all parties involved.
Right?
You know, they got enough money.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm glad that that was figured out because that would have been awkward.
So the odd thing is, if you, I don't know if you can give someone a role of an owner. Can you do that? Don't do it because then it has to go through the back.
I
end.
can give owner, yes.
Okay, don't. So if you give anyone a role of an owner, you cannot kick them and they can't kick themselves.
Does it
So
autosave the
then-
moment you click?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
And the very first thing that you see is the owner.
Yeah.
So I've done that mistake already to Roman Atlas, and now he's been sitting there as that owner for like ages now, and I can't get rid of him until someone gets rid of him from the back end.
But I think
very good.
I think you
That's a
definitely
problem.
maze it up,
Yep.
then
So you
would
got to be
probably
very careful when you give someone the
very
role.
good.
Okay,
'Cause
got it.
That's a guy that gets shit. done, you know?
Perfect.
But other than that,
That guy,
I'm
he's a
gonna.
fucking worker.
So I can only
Yeah.
send email when they are around.
And he's very
You
knowledgeable
cannot
about that
send
stuff, not to
email when
mention.
they're,
When they're not? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
which is kind of annoying because.
Well, Sherry, I don't mean to cut this short. I'm in a meeting, but the TLDR is we want, after seeing that the email stuff is possible, I would love for the DOJ to be able to send an email to literally everybody, making them aware that, like, there's legislation being proposed, and then people can go on, you know, the government website to take a look, because otherwise the shit flies under the radar and no one sees shit.
I think they should do this, and they should do like offline emails so that
I
people wait.
agree.
It'd be wonderful. Okay, all right, I gotta go. But Sherry, I will fire them after I send them an email.
No worries. Do
Thank
your
you.
thing.
Bye.
The process, but
Bye.
I just think the whole, you know, organizing everybody around time zones and stuff, that doesn't help. Then there's like the gathering everything being posted on time, that doesn't help. Then there's like outside factors that nobody has control of, that doesn't help. Then there's like the volume of stuff coming in as well, and some of it's pretty serious that actually takes time to look at. Then you have the other issue where a lot of people get themselves conflicted through one way or another. And it's, I don't know, there's a lot of factors that go into making this very difficult, and I don't see any other way of fixing it other than completely wiping and starting from fresh.
I don't
sounds
remember
weird.
things being like this in the past, Rhodes. Like when we were, you know, when we ran the BCSO in the C, like I don't remember things being like this this downtrodden.
I agree, but also, y'all get
Email.
those
Wait,
emails?
I just got
Yeah,
an
wouldn't that
email.
be
Did
sick
you
if
get
judges could send
Oh.
that to literally everybody?
Yeah, that would be great.
Because
honestly.
then,
Yeah.
if I saw that, I'd be prompted to go and fucking look.
Yeah.
Ruby, it was
I really
essentially
like
exactly
that.
what I sent you, but it was like, today a new piece of legislation has
Yeah.
been proposed. Like, end of story. Like that would be phenomenal.
I mean, a lot of times things don't they don't even really get contested.
Because no
Yeah, I
one
mean, when-
fucking knew.
This is like some dead of the night shit. You know what I mean? Like they're doing shit in the guise of night. Under-
Okay,
Under
real
no
quick,
surveillance. in the
since
shadows.
we're pretty short on time, do we know who is going to be filing